we can go ahead and select HTML document, and you'll see that you've opened up a HTML document inside Dreamweaver. Now if your panel or your Dreamweaver interface does not look like this, simply go to Window and go to Workspace Layout and switch to Designer. For the Mac users, you will not see this option here. The reason is I believe that the designer is switched to default anyway, so if you select to default, it should look like this here. Right, so I've already explained a little bit about the Insert tab. The Insert panel here is basically a few of the features that you'll most commonly use inside Dreamweaver when creating websites. Things like tables, inserting images, inserting other media. If you haven't got the Insert panel, make sure you go to Window and select Insert, like so. Another really important feature that you need to have is the Properties panel. Now the Property Inspector is a contextual panel, which what that means is basically changes surrounding the context in what you click on. So if I select here on the stage, and you'll see that by default I've got the text parameters. That's because Dreamweaver thinks that I'm now going to type up some text, so by default it's given me bold, italic and all the options associated with text. If for example I switch and grab a table, and there you go, the Properties panel has now changed again, similar to the way that the Properties panel changes in Flash and a number of other Adobe programs as well. Now bear in mind that with the Insert panel up here, we can probably get these options by selecting Window and or selecting on the right hand side of the tabs in some of these panels over here. However, on the Property panel you cannot do that. So in other words, it's very difficult to make changes without using the Property panel. So my advice to you is make sure that you always have the Property panel floating at the bottom or at the side or wherever you want it, but make sure it's there. Reason being, when we're actually doing things on the fly, we can actually go back and make the changes where relevant, where even if the Insert panels are switched off, we can still make those changes through alternative means, so we can just browse through them. We cannot do that with the Property Inspector, so make sure the Property Inspector does not disappear. If it disappears, you can go to Window and select Properties over here, Properties panel. If you manage to screw up your space inside Dreamweaver, just go back to Workspace Layout and click Designer or click Default if you're on the Mac.